Welcome to footballgameplan.com, where football makes sense. I'm Emery Hunt, the czar of the playbook, bringing you an AFC wildcard matchup between the New York Jets and the Indianapolis Colts. Now let's start with the Jets in this matchup. Let's start with the offensive side of the football. One thing they have to do against the Colts is dictate the pace of the game with the running attack. We talk about this every week. The Jets are one of the more powerful running teams in the league. They have the best offensive line in the league. They all can fire off the football and do a great job of protecting Sanchez, but they can control the pace of the game with the running attack, and that's going to have to be huge. That's how you shrink possessions of the Indianapolis Colts, by playing keep away. So running the football to effectiveness, dictate the pace of the game with the run, and keeps your defense fresh. Also, I would say get Cotry more involved early in this offense. Cotry is a guy that's very underrated as a receiver, another guy that's consistently making plays. He's Sanchez's go-to guy on third down. So I would get Cotry more involved in this offense. That allow guys like Santonio Holmes and Brell Networks to be playmakers that they are, and get these guys in more opportunity to be open, but you have to get that consistent play. You have to go to Cotry. So I want to see more of Cotry involved in the offense. Now defensively, I look at the matchup, Bart Scott and David Harris in coverage versus Peyton Manning. They have to protect their underneath coverage. They have to make sure to get their hands up. A lot of passes will be going across the middle of the field to Jacob Tamme and company. So look for these guys to play a big role in their coverage of the underneath passing game of the Indianapolis Colts. And also see gap pressure. If you guys can come from the outside against Peyton Manning, he's going to get rid of that football quickly. That's going to be huge. So see gap pressure. It has to be a mandate. Look for you guys to try to live on the opposite side of the line of scrimmage to cause problems for Peyton Manning. And you have to get physical with Jacob Tamme. If you allow Tamme to get a free release and run free in the secondary, it can be a problem. Now you look at the Colts coming to this game. One thing that's important, you want to attack the safeties of the New York Jets. That's still a weak spot. Jim Leonard has been out, so that's one area of the defense that you can attack. And we know Peyton Manning has an arm to attack a team vertically if he wants to. So look for a lot of big plays down the field, a lot of vertical stretch plays for Reggie Wayne and also Pierre Garçon. So that's important. So you want to attack the safeties of the New York Jets, and the emphasis on running the football is key, guys. That's what makes your play action deadly. That's what makes you guys able to run the football. If the Colts are able to get their running game going, just like they have later on in the season, that's going to prove to be detrimental for what the Jets are going to try to do, because the Jets can't get to the quarterback like they were last year, and the running game is going to help that even more so. That's going to help Peyton Manning stay clean. That's going to allow him to have the opportunity to hit these targets downfield. Now defensively, I look at the matchup, Dwight Freeney versus the Brickishaw Ferguson. That's the key battle in this game. If Freeney can cause problems for Sanchez, Sanchez is a guy that moves a little bit too quick. He's going to get rid of that football quickly, and it's going to go underneath. And the Colts linebackers are athletic enough to make plays. And the linebackers have to control the gaps in the run game, because they're going to try to get to the second level. If you guys could fill those gaps and stop the Jets at the line of scrimmage, is going to prove to be huge for your defense, and that's huge. You want to cover high, you want to play high or low with Santonio Holmes. Cover him high or low. That's going to force Sanchez to go to the opposite side of the field, and that's going to dictate coverage, and that plays into your hands because you guys run the cover two scheme. Now let's look at the positional breakdowns for this game. Let's start with the quarterback position. You have to give the edge to the Indianapolis Colts with Peyton Manning. That goes without saying. Also, although Sanchez is an up-and-coming target. Now you look at the running back situation, I have to go with the New York Jets in this game. The Jets have a solid run game in Green and Thompson. These guys can run the heck out of football, so the Jets get the edge in that positional battle. Now you look at wide receivers, you have to go with the Colts. They can consistently make plays. They don't have lapses where they drop passes. Anybody the Colts plug in can make catches. Pierre Garçon and the future Hall of Famer Reggie Wayne. Offensive line, you have to go with the New York Jets. We goes without saying, best offensive line in the NFL. Jets get the nod. 5 starters can play anywhere in the league. Defensive line, I have to go with the Indianapolis Colts, because they can consistently get pressure on the quarterback. That is key in any level of football. Freeney and Mathis are 2 outstanding defensive ends. Linebackers, you have to go with the New York Jets. Bart Scott is a guy that's a vocal leader. You look at David Harris, a very underrated linebacker in this league. Jets get the nod in that battle. Defensive backs, you have to go with the New York Jets. You have Revis on one side, Cromartie on the other side, and a young and up-and-coming Kyle Wilson in the slot. And Lowry is another guy that's very underrated back there in the secondary. So Jets get the nod. Defensive back. Special teams, I think, goes with the New York Jets because they have an outstanding return game. But you look at the kicking advantage, it has to go to the Colts. So both teams have something that they bring to the table. So I'm going to call this matchup a push. Now you look at the X factor in this game. For the Jets, it has to be Brad Smith. That's going to be the X factor. Get this guy to football in any way possible. And for the Colts, you look at the offensive coordinator, Peyton Manning. That's the key X factor. He can make all the checks and calls at the line of scrimmage. He controls what you do on defense. So that's the X factor for the Colts. But in this matchup, I have to go with the New York Jets because of their X factor, Brad Smith. Look for them to run a lot more wildcat packages this week. The Jets can run the football, they can dictate the pace, and this game, like Rex Ryan says, is personal. Look for the Jets to control the pace of the game, and the defense will be fresh and aggressive and get after Peyton Manning. For more NFL previews, visit footballgameplan.com/NFL or visit our YouTube channel at youtube.com/footballgameplan.